Hi guys, it's me. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reading Amelia Bedelia Means Business. And a shout out to all the subscribers who subscribed to me. I got 6,000 and thank you very much. And thank you for the amazing comments. Thank you very much. I read some of them. They're really good. If life has... Guys, it's me. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reading Amelia Bedelia Means Business. And shout out to all the subscribers who subscribed to me. Thank you very much. I got 6,000 now. I got 6,200 something, I think. It was really cool. And also, I'm going to give a shout out at the end of my video for a commenter. And thank you for commenting, guys. Shout out at the end. Thank you. Chapter 9. If life hands you lemons. Oh, never mind. Like Diana's pink slip, the aftermath of Amelia Bedelia's lemonade stand fiasco was not pretty at all. Amelia Bedelia took cover in the car showroom until the grown-ups sorted things out. The TV station agreed to run Wild Bill's commercial for the next 3 months for free. Amelia Bedelia's parents agreed that she would not sell any more lemonade for 30 days and then if she still wants to run her lemonade business, she would stay a mile away from Wild Bill's. Back home, Amelia Bedelia faced a new worry. What am I going to do with 50 bags of lemons, she moaned. I have 500 lemons. Well, you know what they say, said her father. If life makes you lemons, you make... His voice trailed off. He stopped before he said, they're born with tart. Yes, said her mom. That's why lemon tart is so tasty. You know what? I'm craving lemon tarts right this minute. Let's make a big batch. Amelia Bedelia and her mother headed to the kitchen. Amelia Bedelia's mother gathered the ingredients, got out her tart pans, and showed Amelia Bedelia how to make lemon tarts. She added extra lemons to the recipe. She had tons to use of after all. After Amelia Bedelia and her mother and father ate a slice of lemon tart, as soon as they cooled, as her dad savored his last bite, he squeezed his eyes and shivered. Wow, he said, that's one tart. Bingo! Amelia Bedelia knew exactly how to use up all her lemons. She would make lemon tarts for everybody. She knew adding extra lemons to make them extra tarty and extra special. The next day, Amelia Bedelia got right to work. She discovered a small tart pan a bit in the pantry. It was perfect. With just a little bit of help from her mom, she baked a dozen size bite tarts. She made a dozen bite-sized. As she took a shortcut through the park, Amelia Bedelia saw a pink-slipped lady sitting on the same bench as before. Only now, instead of just having one dog, she was surrounded by at least a dozen dogs, all shapes and sizes. Hello, pink-slipped lady, Amelia Bedelia called out as she rode up. That's me, said Diana, laughing. And you must be the lemonade lady I saw on television, right? Amelia Bedelia parked her bike next to Diana and the dogs. Guess what? I took your advice, said Diana. I started my own business too. Here it is. She opened her arms to the dog. I love walking my dog so much that I decided to do it for a living. And now I'm a professional dog walker and trainer. See how well behaved they are? Wow, said Amelia Bedelia. Can they do tricks? Sure, said Diana. I need treats to inspire them. I'm all out. I have to pack some more tomorrow. Amelia Bedelia took out her lunchbox and gave Diana a tart to taste. Amazing, said Diana. It's so little yet so tart. I made a very tart, said Amelia Bedelia. Do you think the dogs would like them? Diana broke off a piece of lemony tart and put it on Buster's nose. He didn't move as he sat there. Just give me a couple of pages. Oh, sorry, I skipped pages while I read. With the tiny piece, he balanced it on his nose. He doesn't like it. No, said Diana. I've trained him well. Watch this. Diana snapped her fingers, Buster sat up, flipped the piece of tart into the air, and right in his mouth. And he gulped it right down. He wagged his tail happily. "He does like it," said Amelia Bedelia. She looked over at the dogs. They were looking at Buster and Amelia Bedelia. Then at Buster, then at her. "What about them? Can they try a tart too?" "How many do you have?" said Diana. Amelia Bedelia set aside enough tarts for Pete and Doris. Then Diana showed her how to make dogs sit and lie down and roll over and jump into the air when her tarts were all gone. The dogs gazed at Amelia Bedelia and wagged their tails wildly. "Look at them," said Diana. "You made lots of furry friends today. I bet they'll never forget your tarts or you." "Thanks, Diana," said Amelia Bedelia. "I love dogs." She patted them all one last time as she got away on her bike and waved as she rode away. "Hey, Amelia Bedelia," Diana called. "You should start a new business." Amelia Bedelia tried to ring the bell on her handlebars to let Diana know that she loved her suggestion. It was broken and didn't make a sound. On her way to Pete's Diner, Amelia Bedelia took a detour by Wild Bill's Autorama. He wasn't there, but she let a sorry wrote, and she wrote this: "I'm sorry again about the sign. Here's one lemon tart I hope you truly like. Yours truly, Amelia Bedelia." So her lemon tart is right there, and this is her apology sign. When Amelia Bedelia walked into Pete's Diner, people turned to her. "I'm embarrassed," she thought. "I hope they weren't here when I stepped on that piece of pie." She heard whispering. "That's her. Her? Are you sure?" I'm sure. "It's that lemonade lady." Amelia Bedelia began to blush. She was so happy to finally see Doris. Doris gave her a big hug. "Hi, Amelia Bedelia," she said. "We saw you on TV. You're a big star now." Amelia Bedelia was still blushing and had started to explain what really happened when Pete came out of the kitchen. "Look who's here," he said. "Step on any pies lately or came back here to kick her coconut cake?" Amelia Bedelia sat on a stool on the counter. "I came to apologize," he said. "You gave me my first job and I didn't do very good at it." Pete took a plate of hot French fries from a passing waiter and set it down in front of her. "Oh, yummy," said Amelia Bedelia, "but I don't have any money to..." "What's that for?" said Pete. "Did you bring your own lunch?" "No," said Amelia Bedelia. "I have a present for you and Doris." She opened her lunchbox and took out her last 2 lemon tarts. Pete took one at the tarts and declared, "Time for a coffee break." He poured 2 cups of coffee while Doris put the tarts on the plate and got 2 forks. "Wow, they look terrific," said Pete. "Do you really like them?" asked Amelia Bedelia. You make such delicious brownies. They're famous." "Ha," said Pete. "A great lemon tart takes a lot of skill. My brownies are a dime of a dozen." "Dime for a dozen," said Amelia Bedelia. "That's a good deal." She dug in deep in her pocket and pulled out a nickel and put it on the counter. "I'll take 6 brownies to go." Doris chuckled. "Coming right up, hon," she said. "You're a better businessman than Pete. Keep your money." Amelia Bedelia said, "Pete, bring me 2 dozen of your lemon tarts every day, and I'll pay you 50 cents a piece." Doris did the math quickly in her head. "That's $12 a day," she said. "Do you think you could do it?" Amelia Bedelia thought it over for at least half a second. Then she gave Doris a thumbs up and Pete her firmest handshake ever. "You got a deal." Amelia Bedelia headed for home. She felt great. She had some baking to do. She cut through the park, pedaling as fast as she could. She sped up when Amelia Bedelia saw the policeman. Then she flew past Diana and at the dogs. The dogs began to bark and pull their leashes. Amelia Bedelia looked over her shoulder and waved at them. Then she ran into Suzanne Scrockins. Literally, blam. Both girls were thrown off the bikes. Both bikes crashed onto the ground.
Oh no.
Amelia Bedelia rolled across at the edge of the grass and came to stop at the edge of the flower bed. Suzanne skid down the sidewalk. Amelia Bedelia dusted herself off and then went to see if Suzanne was okay. Are you all right? Said Amelia Bedelia. I guess so, said Suzanne. She pointed at Amelia Bedelia's elbow. You're bleeding. She pointed at Suzanne's knee. So are you. Why did you run to me? Suzanne demanded. Are you trying to wreck my bike?
Uh-oh.
What do you mean, said Amelia Bedelia. It was an accident. Amelia Bedelia remembered that Doris tucked a napkin and box into the brownies. Here. She gave the napkin to Suzanne. Wipe your knee. Suzanne looked at the box and said, Ew, what's that? They used to be 6 brownies from Pete's dinner, said Amelia Bedelia, and laughing. I must have landed on them when we crashed. They got smudged into one big chocolate pancake.
Oh.
Suzanne smiled. That's a good thing. Looks like they broke your fall. Amelia Bedelia tore off a piece of the big brownie and ate it. They still taste great. I'd like to have this pancake for breakfast. Here, try some, Suzanne. She gave her a piece. Call me Suzanne. Suzanne is this girl right here. My mother asked me who was Suzanne, and this is Suzanne right here.
She's pretty.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Said Suzanne. Wow, this is yummy. Suzanne said goodbye to Amelia Bedelia and got back on her bike, but when she tried to pedal away, her wheel made a scraping sound. Uh-oh, said Amelia Bedelia. No problem, said Suzanne. The bike shop is where we got it, right by the park entrance. Do you want to come with me and see if they can fix it? Amelia Bedelia and Suzanne walked to their bikes over to the bike shop. It was called the Spokespeople, while the owner of the shop, whose name was Marcus Smith, repaired the wheel and wandered along the rows of bikes for sale. Above her, hanging from the ceiling, Amelia Bedelia saw a beautiful bike. It was just like Suzanne's, but it was red. One day that will be my bike, she vowed. If either you ladies want a new bike, Marcus said, here's your chance. He tapped a poster on the wall. Behind him it read, Annual Downtown Celebration Bike Parade.
Oh.
First prize, bike of your dreams.
Oh, nice.
Celebration. Listen to this. Suzanne as she read the poster. Decorate your bike for the parade. This year's theme is individuality. The winner can select the bike of her or his dreams from the spokespeople. Amelia Bedelia was so excited but wary. So far, the signs have given her nothing but problems. Maybe this poster would change her luck. She had one question. What kind of decorations could we put on our bikes? Marcus shrugged. Good question, he said. Since the theme is individuality, I guess you can put whatever you want. If I were you, I would put as plenty of imagination and be as original as you can. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I think I read this full book, so okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now, but not the full thing, okay? I'm gonna give you a hint. It has to do something with her lemonade stand. That's the only thing I'm gonna give you. It has to do something with her lemonade stand. He spun the wheels on Suzanne's bike. They turned smoothly. All done, said Marcus. It's on the house. Whose house? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Your house or Pete's? Huh? Marcus said. Thanks, yelled Suzanne as Amelia Bedelia and Suzanne rode off together. Good luck, ladies, called Marcus. Dream bike nightmares. As she rode home, Amelia Bedelia got more and more excited about the contest. She told her mom and dad all about it. When I win, she said, I'll get a free bike and you won't have to pay for half. That's nice, honey, said her mom. We'll add the money and use it for your college fund instead. We're so proud of you. You're doing a great job earning your half. And her excitement, wait, let me see if I skipped a page, okay. In her excitement, Amelia Bedelia had forgotten all about baking the tarts for Pete's. She forgot, but she was so excited, so I understand. Sometimes I'm so excited, like let's say, okay, this is an example. Let's say my mom tells me we're gonna go to my friend's house, and she say, after we go to your friend's house, we will vacuum the house. And after that, I will get so excited I would forget, and then I wouldn't vacuum the house, and then we go home. It's an example. Hey, I got a job, she announced. Pete liked my tarts so much that he wants me to bake 2 dozen a day. He'll sell them at the diner. Congratulations, said her mom. Lots of people go to Pete's. Did you know that the mayor eats at the diner every day? If he likes your tarts, your business could be a big hit. The best advertising, word of mouth, is a long shot. Dad, I'm decorating a bike, said Amelia Bedelia. I'm not playing basketball. Hey, said her dad, I have an idea. Why don't you decorate your bike like a giant lemon tart? You'll attract more customers and make more money. Then you can buy your bike. That's a sure thing. You're sure that's sure? Said Amelia Bedelia. She turned to her mom. What do you think? That's a tough one, said her mother. I can see Dad's point of view, but I also can see that you want to try to win the contest. Amelia Bedelia's mother smiled. That means there's only one way to settle this. Get ready, you two. She paused, flipped out a quarter from her purse, and flipped it high in the air. Tails, shouted Amelia Bedelia. Heads, called out Amelia Bedelia's dad. And heads it was, and I got heads. Okay, I got heads. Oh, the blurry. I got heads. See. So Amelia Bedelia took her dad's advice. She worked up her bike right to the morning of the parade. Both sides of the front wheel looked like giant lemon slices. Both sides of the back wheel looked like giant lemon tarts. On her back, Amelia Bedelia wrote a sign that was mouth-watering slice of tart. On the side, she written, try a bite. Next to the word bite, she had cut it a big, toothy bite. It was a great white shark-sized bite. To top it all, Amelia Bedelia constructed papier-mâché lemon to cover her helmet. She had painted it yellow. It even had a stem and bright green leaves that fluttered in the breeze. If I were you, said her dad, I would take along some lemon tarts and hand them to people as samples. That way, you can peddle all your tarts all around town. Her dad chuckled to himself. Amelia Bedelia guessed he must be making some kind of joke on being a bike on selling tarts. She didn't have any time to figure out, and she didn't have time to figure out, and she rolled, and the way her mom was shaking her head and rolling her eyes, it surely wasn't worth understanding anyway. Chapter 12. Try a bite. Not. This is what. Try a bite is right here. This is the lemon tart. This is the lemon, and this is her helmet. Amelia Bedelia rode her bike to the town square, where the parade was assembling. Suzanne was already there. When Amelia Bedelia saw Suzanne's bike, she felt speechless. It was the exact way she felt the time she saw the bike. Suzanne had woven red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet crepe paper into the spokes of her wheels, and when they went around, colors revolved into a spiral of the center of the wheel. It looked like a swirling rainbow. Suzanne glued glittery stars in the center of both of her wheels. Amelia Bedelia was so dizzy she had to look away. Was Suzanne trying to hypnotize the judges into voting for her? There were also rainbow color streamers flowing out of the ends for her handle breakers. Tiny flags bunting, meeting out of little paper unicorns, and jingle bells hanging everywhere. On the bright side, Amelia Bedelia was glad that she was not trying to waste her time to compete with Suzanne. Maybe Suzanne would toss her not so new bike anymore, and as she rode away on her brand new bike. The poster in the bike shop had not mentioned that there would be a pet parade, too. Amelia Bedelia could see cats, goldfish, guinea pigs, snakes, mice, dogs, other dogs, and even more dogs. Another thing the poster hadn't mentioned was that Wild Bill was a celebrity judge of the bike contest. He was riding with the mayor and Miss Individuality in one of the convertibles at the parade. Now Amelia Bedelia doubted that she hadn't tried to win. Wild Bill would never pick her in a million years. When we get to chapter 13, then that's when I'm gonna stop the book. Oh, that was my heads and tails coin. She peeked under the bright yellow dish towel in her bike basket. All of there were lemon tarts and all ready to hand out to people in the crowd as she rode by. Soon it was time for the parade to begin. The non-dog pets followed the convertible, then came the dogs, and then the kids on their bikes. The crowd cheered and clapped all for the marchers. When Amelia Bedelia peeled her parents, they clapped the loudest of all. "Hooray for tarts," her dad yelled. Amelia Bedelia waved, blushed, and pretended not to know them. When it started, maybe it was triggered by her dad tarts. As Amelia Bedelia pedaled by one of the dogs, it turned and looked straight at her, then put the nose in the air and sniffed. Then it began to wag its tail and bark and bark. Amelia Bedelia recognized that dog. It was one of the dogs that Diana had been walking. It had loved the taste of her lemon tarts. Suddenly, the dogs on the other side in the street started barking. Uh-oh, it had tasted her tarts too. Amelia Bedelia rode on. The dogs were sniffing, wagging, barking, and straining their leashes as trying to get close to her as possible. Amelia Bedelia peeked into her bike. No wonder these dogs were barking. The basket was filled with tasty tarts, and they smelled delicious. Amelia Bedelia decided then and there that it would be the perfect time to give out her tarts. If she passed them out now, maybe the dogs would leave her alone, and so she decided to never listen to her father again. Peddling tarts? Haha, very funny, Dad. Come back here, Bruno. Amelia Bedelia looked behind her spirits of individuality. Or maybe they just love Amelia Bedelia. She was weaving in and out of the other bicycles and marchers. She pedaled as fast as she could on an old bike, with a lemon head and bobbling wildly. "Faster," yelled Suzanne, who had seen what had happened. She rode behind Amelia Bedelia, swerving back and forth, trying to keep the dogs away. Several of Amelia Bedelia's friends pedaled and tried to help too. "Go, Amelia Bedelia," yelled Droid. "Faster," called Chip. "Tweet, tweet." There was a policeman from the park. He blew the whistle at Amelia Bedelia and held his hand as that signaled her to stop. Amelia Bedelia glanced over her shoulders. She had never seen so many dogs. She reached into her basket. This is going to be all for today. I'm going to read tomorrow, so basically this is going to be part 1. Tomorrow's going to be part 2. Like I said, I will give out a shout out. I read some of my comments, and I'm going to give out a shout out who put Bliss. Thank you very much. And also, I like the one who got stunned. Thank you for that. I shout out to you too, and shout out to everybody who commented me. Thank you really, guys. Remember, this is